Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to our lecturer, Dr. Devita Julin and my fellow friends. My name is Nurbe Kastima binti Ebos. Today, my group will discuss with you about employees' performance management in human resources. Performance management is the process of creating a work environment. It also an entire work system that flows from a company goals, in which people can perform to the best of their abilities in order to meet company goals, while performance evaluation, or known as performance review or performance appraisal, are the result of a process by which a manager evaluated an employee's performance relative to their job requirements. The goal set with the manager and use the information to show them where improvement can be made. The review are a tools to the organization to develop employee. It is delivered annually or biannually. Now let's see the differentiate this concept. These concepts quite different from each other. The reason for this ambiguity that both ideas are concerned with evaluating performance and fall under the same umbrella. Performance management refers to the action and procedure to ensure workers accomplish their objective on deadline, while performance evaluation is simply the assessment of an employee's performance. Employees are given feedback forms and the manager conducts a final evaluation after the employee has provided self-feedback. It also includes reviewing an employee's skills such as dedication to the organization fundamentals value. Example for both concepts is about helping an employee to develop and increase their performance and productivity, while performance evaluation is evaluate the actual performance of the employee but not focus on the employee's performance productivity. The process of performance management is communication. It is to increase your performance when individuals produce good work that is aligned with the company objective. Individuals perform well when they understand what is required and receive useful feedback and essential results. Next is the development purposes is to identify issue in employees performing the given task. The performance information collected is used to provide important skills, training, or professional development. A performance management system provides manager with concrete framework to gather information about employees' performance, provide feedback, and discuss their goals and how they align with the organization goals. For instance, provide performance feedback, identify individuals' strength and weakness, or recognize individual performance achievement. Now, my friends will discuss with you further about this topic.
Well, as a manager, you need to identify your employees' strength and weakness. You need to identify your employees as they have their communication skills, writing skill, analytical skill, honesty, leadership skill, passion, empathy, initiative, self-motivation, and computer literacy. Other than that, you need also to identify their weaknesses like self-criticism, shyness, lack of knowledge of particular software, cannot public speaking, cannot taking criticism, lack of experience, inability to delegate, and lack of confidence. Here are just a few ways that employer can help the employees set a better goal. First is redefine the company mission. Okay, a company mission define what it stands for. So if the employees redefine the mission of the company, they let the employees know why, what is the reason the company exists at the first place. Second is make it collaborative process. The process of setting individual works goal shouldn't be a responsibility just the employees. Instead, it should be collaborative process between employer and employee. Collaborating on work goals ensure that those goals are better aligned with the company mission. Have employees set goals that will make a difference by having them use the SMART framework. S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for relevant, and T is timely.
My name is Mutnar bin Adam. So today I'm going to explain what are the 5 steps in the performance management. So basically, the performance management is a process, a collaborative communication-based process where employee and management work together to plan, monitor, and review employees' objective in the long terms, job trajectory, comprehensive contribution to the company. So every step in this performance management, they are equally important and together forms as the backbone of company management and performance. So the first step is planning. In this process, HR management need to define the job itself, including a comprehensive description, long and short-term goals. They identify the key objective and develop a clear metric for how their objective goal will be assessed. So the second is coaching. The HR should organize the meeting on a timely and regular basis. On the objective has been set, the next process will be begin. This how the important, the necessary in training, coaching, and solution they can review the employee performance. So the next is reviewing. In this reviewing, they can review the performance. Then management can give the actionable feedback for the employees so they can know where is the area they can improve on the future performance. So last but not least is action to give the employee reward and recognition. These steps are actually the key where the employees can be stay motivated, and they does not necessarily have to be monetary. Other than that, they can be time of leadership and opportunities.
Now, we are moving on to part 4. Part 4 generally talking about development and effective performance management system. A performance standard is a management-approved expression of the performance requirement that must be made to be appraised at the particular level of performance. There are some basic considerations in establishing performance standard. One of them is strategic relevance. Strategic relevance refers to the extent to which the standard of appraisal relate to the strategic objective of the organization in which they are applied. Next is criterion efficiency. Criterion efficiency is the extent to which the standard capture the entire range of an employee's responsibility. When a performance standard focuses on a single criterion to the exclusion of other important ones, then the appraisal system is said to suffer from criterion deficiency. Next is criterion contamination. There are factors outside the employee's control that can influence his or her performance. A comparison of performance of production workers should not be contaminated by the fact that some work with newer machine than others do. The comparison of the performance of traveling sales people should not be contaminated by the fact that territories differ in sales potential.
Development and effective performance management for reliability is the stability or consistency of a standard or the extent to which individual tends to maintain a certain level of performance over time, correlating to sets of ratings provided by a single rater or two distinct. Raters can be used to determine reliability. For example, two supervisors could rate the same person, but their scores might be different in order to assess inter-rater reliability. Lastly, the fairness and acceptability is one of the primary concerns that employees have regarding performance management system in general and evaluation. Managers may inflate reviews in order to gain better salaries for their staff or because higher ratings for their subordinates makes them appear as a good supervisor. For acceptability related to how hard and difficult it is to administer and use the performance management system, it is time-consuming or it's hard to see how it's really helping the organization.
Employee performance is defined on how an employee fulfills their job duties and executes the required tasks. This is referred to the effectiveness, quality, and efficiency of the output. Performance also contributes to our assessment on how valuable an employee is to organization. Each employee is very serious investment for a company, so that the return that each employee provides must be significant. Business Insider investigates just how much revenue top technology company make per employee. A high performing employee is extremely valuable to its company. In fact, there is no greater assets than top talent. Okay, there are 5 persons who should appraise an employee performance, which is manager, self-evaluation, subordinate evaluation, peer evaluation, and team evaluations. Who should appraise an employee performance? Okay, firstly, a manager or supervisor evaluation. An employee performance evaluation is regular assessment and review of an employee performance on the job. Typically, manager conduct a full performance evaluation annually with regular check-in throughout the year. Performance evaluation allow an employee to set clear expectation and measure the employee success. the information to set clear expectation and measure the employee success. The information gathered as part of the performance evaluation can help drive decision about pay rise, pay raises, promotion, and layout. Often, performance review include the manager evaluation of the employee performance, as well as if self-evaluation conducted by the employee about their own review of their success. Second, self-evaluation. Self-evaluation means that employees self-evaluate is the one of the best method to engage employee in the process of looking at the performance and setting both job and career goals. The employee self-evaluation ensure that employee prepare thoughtful for their performance development, planning on appraisal meeting for the manager. It provides a useful opportunity for the employee to take seriously consider the level of performance and contribution. Okay, what is included in the self-evaluation? In self-evaluation, an employee responds to a serious question that help the employee evaluate his or her performance during the evaluation period. This guides the employee through a thought process that allow him or her to focus on the many aspects of nuances of performance. Okay, third, the subordinate evaluation. Subordinate evaluation are the part of an employee is oppressed by the manager, subordinate, colleges, business, partner, and customer. Feedback from the supervised employees can be useful to manager and the workers in the company. Okay, how to give an employee evaluation? First, take notes throughout the year. When important thing happen regarding an employee performance, you will want to take a specific note. Taking note will help you to accomplish several things. Second, know what your goals are. The evaluation go in knowing what you want to get out of the review. Third, be honest and direct. Don't try to sugarcoat feedback. Be clear, honest, straightforward about the things that need to be changed or improved. Second aspect is peer evaluation. Peer appraisal is the type of feedback system in the performance appraisal process. The system is designed to monitor, improve the job performance. It is usually done by the colleges who are part of the same team. This type of appraisal system includes supervisor of manager. As part of the appraisal process, an employee is assessed based on the feedback given by his or her colleges or people within his or her workers' environment. This feedback is anonymously. Evaluation. Evaluation team means design group of the department employee who review, assess, and score documents submitted to the department and in response to the procurement solicitation. Evaluating your teamwork correctly can be far easier than it might seem. Also, they are often called of improving teamwork in an organization. A correct evaluation of the work done is definitely the first step towards this improvement. Second, quantity. What success mean for your team? Now that we are establishing what a normal performance will look like, we can set our sights on determining what level of accomplishment we would consider successful. Without the predetermining what it means to be successful, you will be hard pressed to track the progress and will never know the result what it will become.
Performance management system, which is 360-degree evaluation and training appraisers. So let's go to the 360 evaluation first. 360-degree feedback is a system or process which employees and employer receive confidential, anonymous feedback from the people who works around them. The 360 feedback system is automatically tabulates the result and presents them in a format that helps the feedback recipient create a development plan. Individual responses are always combined with responses from other people in the same category, for example, peer-to-peer and direct report. In order to preserve anonymity to other employees, a clear feature and for her or his greater overall strength and weakness. So the next is training appraisers. A good appraisal process is the key to be successful management and motivation to the staff. So the first one is by making an evaluation plan. This is because this plan can provide information to improve projects during development and implementation. Second is by eliminating this error. There are few steps to eliminate this, which is both awareness for rate bias, reducing and depending memory, and finally monitoring the feedback and data carefully. So we can eliminate the distributional errors, temporal errors, contrast error, and also the rating error. So last but not least, feedback training are important to improve the employees constantly. So we can give our learners voice to highlight a good idea when you get feedback, which you have act on. The important part is do not waste time on ineffective training, because if you are not asking for regular feedback, you could be running for the ineffective training session.
Now I will explain about the performance evaluation methods. There are three types of methods, which is threat methods, behavioral methods, and the result methods. So we look at the first method, which is threat methods. So each of the method consists of many elements of methods. So the first one of the threat method is the graphic rating scale method. So rating scales consist of several numerical scales representing job-related performance criteria such as dependability, initiatives, output, attendance, attitude, and so on. So each scales range from excellent to poor. So the total numerical scores are computed and final conclusion are derived. So the advantage of this method is adaptability, easy to use, low cost, every type of job can be evaluated, large number of employees covered, and no formal training required. Next threat method is the false choice method. The series of statements arranged in the blocks of two or more are given, and the red indicates which statement is true or false. So the rater is forced to make a choice. Human resources department does actual assessment. So the advantage is absence of personal bias because of false choice. So in other words, this false choice method will avoid bias between employee and the management. And the next threat method is the essay method. In this method, the rater writes down the employee description in detail within a number of broad categories like overall impression of performance, promotability of employee, existing capabilities, and qualification of performing job, strengths and weakness and training needs of the employee. So the advantage is it is extremely useful in filling information gaps about the employees that often occur in a better structured checklist. We're moving on to the behavioral method. So the first behavioral method is the critical incident method. So the approach is focused on certain critical behaviors of the employee. So the advantage is evaluation are based on actual job behaviors, ratings are supported by descriptions, feedback is easy, reduced recency bias, chances of subordinate improvement are high. Next is the behavioral checklist method. Under this method, checklist of statements of traits of employee in the form of yes or no. This question is prepared. So here the rater only does the reporting or checking, and human resources department does the actual evaluation. So advantage is ease of administration, limited training required, and standardization. Next is the most famous one, which is behaviorally anchored rating scale. Sorry for the pronunciation. So the short form is the bars. Okay. Statement of effective and ineffective behaviors determine the points. So they are said to be behaviorally anchored. The rater is supposed to say which behavior describes the employee performance. So advantage is it will help overcome rating errors. And the disadvantage is suffers from distortion inherent in most rating technique. And the last method is the result method. So we look at the first result method, which is management by objectives, MBO. This method is result oriented and similar to the work standard approach with a few differences. In this method, the manager and the employee sit down together and develop objectives for the time period. Then, when it's time for the performance evaluation, the manager and employee sit down again to review the goals that were set and determine whether they were met. The advantage of this method is the open communication between the manager and the employee. So, this method is best applied for positions that are not routine and require a higher level of thinking to perform the job. So, to be efficient at management by objectives, the managers and employees should be able to write strong objectives.